I lost my job on Thursday night, along with 200,000 other people in my department or my division. Despite what most people think, we're not all just lazy government employees. I worked really, really hard. I was one of the top performing people in Wisconsin. I was in charge of 37 counties in Wisconsin. You divide Wisconsin in half. I had half of Wisconsin that I dealt with in my job. I kept getting more responsibilities because of my performance. I worked really, really hard. I've been there 8 years. My managers had no idea until I did that I was terminated. They fell to their knees and cried along.
What's good, my Souls of Thought family? It's your boy Norris. Welcome back to another reaction video. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hopefully that this information gives you some hope. I don't know if you guys mentioned, I don't know if you guys remember, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I made a video about, take the buyout. I was explaining to everybody I am a formal veteran. I did 20 years. I did retire from the military. With that being said, I was highly encouraging everyone to take the buyout. A lot of people in the comments were saying that they're not going to get paid, don't take the buyout. Well, as you see, there's a lot of people being cut from federal positions, and now people are being impacted. And this is where I feel that we have people allow their emotions to affect their bank accounts. And regardless, I know people say if you fall for anything, if you stand for, if you, what is it? If you stand for anything, you'll fall for anything or whatever. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. That's what it is. Hey man, there's no one in their right mind who shouldn't took that buyout. And as I mentioned to you guys in my video as well, these people were already selected. They already knew who they were going to cut. And you guys thought your work ethic or your friendship or your relationship with leadership was going to keep you in a job when the president of the United States is stating that they're going to be federal cuts. This goes back to the time with the COVID vaccine. And I told everybody, you have no choice, because the president even said you either get the vax or you're getting kicked out. And people were trying to fight it. You were going to get kicked out. They were like, oh, you can provide religious exemptions and this and that. Bro, if you didn't come into the military with a religious exemption, you're not going to get one in 30 days and try to avoid a vaccine. And I got to see it firsthand working in the medical group that it didn't work for people. Did some people jump through the hoops? Yeah, they did, but they knew right people. They were in right positions, probably higher ranking, things of that nature. But just want to go over this. They're going to review this. I think right now we only got like 75,000 people who actually accepted the buyout. That was less than the 5% that they were looking for. And like I said before in my video, if they don't get their numbers, they will get their numbers. And they're showing you that they will get their numbers.
And the Trump administration's beginning mass layoffs of federal workers, impacting multiple agencies. Tens of thousands of employees are expected to lose their jobs. Our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, is tracking the latest from the White House. Good morning, Rachel.
Rebecca, good morning to you. And federal workers who did not resign as part of that buyout offer were warned that they could possibly be laid off or fired. And this morning, we are learning that mass layoffs have started across multiple federal agencies.
This morning, the Trump administration taking its sweeping efforts to shrink the size of the federal workforce one step further, ordering agencies to lay off nearly all probationary employees, meaning those hired within the last 1 or 2 years.
So as I mentioned to you guys, that it was going to start in stages. Said it in my previous video. I said a lot of people don't know this. A lot of federal jobs have this long probationary period. So, this is not like the private sector or you want to call it civilian sector, where they give you like the 90-day probation period before you can get your benefits and things like that. Some of these positions in federal position takes a couple years to get to the probationary period. And I guarantee you, after they do the probationary period, they're going to start focusing on people who are contract workers. Again, contract workers, that money was already allotted for the year. That's why I mentioned to you guys to take the buyout. That's going to be the next step. They are going to hit their numbers.
A move that could impact as many as 220,000 federal workers. At the Department of Veteran Affairs alone, more than 1,000 new workers were dismissed. Overnight, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau also firing term employees, with expectations that the rest may be fired today, leaving a skeleton staff of around 5%. The CFPB and VA are just two of several agencies that have started to cut federal workers so far. The administration also targeting the Department of Education and the Environmental Protection Agency. The largest federal employee union slamming the layoffs, calling it a blatant violation of the principles of fairness and merit that are supposed to govern federal employment, and saying the firings are about power. At some agencies, workers learned by
It's about power, but they gave you power. They gave you an option to take the buyout or not, and you chose the latter. That's why it's very important to educate yourselves and not to let your emotions, not to let these other liberals, not let your friends, not let your race, not let your gender, not let any of those things influence your decision making. They were going to give you guys 8 months of paid full income. That's not even up for debate. And then the judge messed y'all over because the judge finally said they couldn't stop it and they got to let it proceed, but then they notified people after the 7:20 p.m. cutoff. So that same judge that you thought was your friend that was holding up federal processes, never know. You never know who's doing what.
email, they had been laid off. But at the Office of Personnel Management, others found out on a call.
You will receive your termination notice via email shortly. As a result, your employment with the Office of Personnel Management will end today.
Elon Musk, who has billions of dollars in federal contracts and is spearheading the efforts to slash government spending, also calling for the elimination of whole agencies. Musk sitting down with Indian Prime Minister Modi Thursday before he met with President Trump. The president unsure the capacity of Musk's meeting and whether Musk was acting as a private citizen wanting to do business in India or a member of the administration.
I would imagine he met possibly because, he's running a company.
Trump pushed on how a foreign leader may know the difference.
Well, he's meeting with me in a little while, so I'm going to ask him that question.
So the Indian prime minister was also asked if they discussed any business. He would only say that he has known Elon Musk for a very long time.
And I want you guys to see what they just did there. You see what they're doing, right? And this is what I try to educate people on. Regardless that I'm a conservative Black male, that I have to keep saying that, I want you guys to understand what they're actually doing here. They went from talking about 200,000 people being cut from federal jobs, 75,000 people taking the buyout, to then trying to throw a little 20-second plug in there about Elon Musk meeting with the president of India. Why would they do that? Because they want to distract you guys. Because every Democrat, every liberal, every woke white person, every Black Democrat, y'all main focus has been on Elon Musk shouldn't be. So they want you guys to have 2 seconds to think about the people who just lost their jobs. And then they're going to throw you that distraction again so that you can judge the end of the video and forget that people like myself, people like Anton Daniels, people all over the world kept telling you guys, take the buyout. Don't be distracted. They're distracting you guys. People coming on my videos saying that I'm not distracted. I see the play. And I see that we have a president who is finally doing everything that he said he was going to do. It's a president who's doing the same thing that the Democrat former President Bill Clinton tried to do. The same thing that the former Democrat President Barack Obama tried to do. It's in action now. So I highly suggest people to get out here, get you a job, a career. Stop worrying about being part of the federal system. Come out here and get you a real job. There's jobs out here, guys. Trust me. I know from experience, there's jobs out here that you can make a career. And if you're such a hard worker, as that lady said at the beginning of my video, your hard work will exceed others and you'll be able to be successful. This is what we're going to see. And I'm going to tell you this because I want to make this very clear. Do not bring yourselves to Texas. You people out of the DMV that's losing your federal job, don't come to Texas. Remember, you don't like Elon. Remember, you don't like President Trump because all the companies that are now opening up in the great state of Texas are ran by Elon. So don't come over here after you dealt with your federal life over there in DMV. Don't come to Texas. So I just want you to die. Don't come here trying to bring your liberal thoughts here to Texas, where things are going fine. Stay there. But with that said, take heed. Pay attention to the information, guys. It's right there in front of you. You never pass up a buyout for 8 months. And you thought they weren't going to cut people if they didn't get the number they needed? They didn't even care about who you were. They didn't care about your background and how a great worker you are. You guys received emails and phone calls. And you know what's going to happen now? Now everybody also going to feel the impact of those people who are in leadership positions who don't know how to do the job. And now we're going to be delayed. Everything's going to be delayed because you're going to have leaders who can't lead, who never knew how to do the job, and they had those people underneath them doing everything for them. So everybody's going to be impacted. And that's the thing that we don't understand. This fight is not a Democrat-Republican fight. Everything that's going on is going to impact everyone, regardless of your race, gender, color, creed, whatever you voted. It's going to impact everyone, but it's about how set up are you. See, I have my breastplate of armor on every day. I believe in God that I serve, but I also believe that common sense takes play. And everything I've been mentioning to everybody who pays attention to my platform is giving you warning. So take heed. And again, it's your boy Norris from Souls of Thought. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, God loves you, which is most importantly. I love you. You're beautiful, and your boy's out. There you go.